Hey, Coach. Tough end into this one, but Mark Williams getting the start tonight, another double-double. What did he show you tonight?
Yeah, he can do it back-to-back games. And I think after the last game, we just talked about his standard as we learn him and he learns us. He obviously is a big presence out there. And now he's done it back-to-back games. So I think it's still on both ends. I think at times we're asking him to move up in pick and roll coverage defensively. And you could see we were changing things up for Morant tonight, and he was able to do it. So even that's not on the box score. I think there's multiple things there we can be happy about where Mark is at, and now that's a new standard. So keeping him to that standard is what we're all here to do. He set a new standard. So great night for him.
Coach, the turnovers once again, just how are you viewing that tonight as far as what caused them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to see on the box score, 22 for 37 points. It was a live ball. They had 13 steals. I think we might have given up 26 points in those 13 possessions. That was what we have there on live ball turnovers. So we got to look at it, see. It's probably all of it. Like I think I said a couple games ago, it's bad pass, bad catch, bad spacing. Give them credit. They were pretty good defensively. Obviously, Jackson's a really good defender. Wells, good defender. So give them a little credit, but we got to be better than that.
Looking at the challenge, you challenged the foul on Devin, then you end up with no timeouts. How are you weighing it now? I know it's hindsight 2020, but what made you challenge that corner three initially?
Yeah, we didn't think there was contact. I think we still had a timeout after that. That wasn't the last one. The last one we had was the dive on the floor, 2.7 inside out of bounds, and then we turned it over. We turned it over on the inbounds. They went down, hit a three. We came back and hit a three. That was our last one. But I thought we got to what we needed even without the timeout. We continually talked about in the huddles that we don't have any timeouts left. We got to the space that we wanted to at the end of the game. Sometimes you don't want to use your timeout in flow. As they're going back in transition, you may actually get the ball to the right person. We got the ball to the right person. You got a pretty decent look. I think it's millimeters off if you check it out. So that's the game of basketball.
Last thing I had was just Devin being 3 of 13 to start, and then the way he turned it on. Maybe just speak to that about him being able to. And he's done it timeless time, but just for particularly for tonight.
Yeah, I think he had 29 in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. Tough shots. I mean, no, it's not tough for him, but they were contested. They were all over him all night, and he took us right to the finish line. So, yeah, spectacular shot making in the second half by him. He was able to free himself up a little bit, but they were good defensively. They were into him, putting two on the ball when he had it in pick and roll. We tried to move him a little bit off the ball. He's able to use the catch just for a split second to get an advantage, to get some space. So, yeah, we'll build on that for sure.
What are you seeing with the transition defense right now?
I mean, the live ball, it's hard to play transition and a live ball turnover. That's definitely one piece. It was actually better in the Utah game. So we were better in transition than Utah that night, and then now tonight. Again, 13 steals, and then I think it was 2.0 points per possession on those steals. So that's 26 points where we can't even get back and get our defense set. We've been at times good defensively in the half court, and I think tonight overall we were pretty good again. Just judging by how fast they play and how fast we play, I would imagine that it comes out as a pretty solid defensive night. If we can just stop turning the ball over, kick it out of bounds. How about we kick it out of bounds instead of give it to the other team? But we'll figure it out. It's a new process for everyone. Everyone's kind of in a slightly different role. The spacing is different, but we got to figure it out.
I imagine your answer to this in January or February would be different than a week in. How do you weigh the sloppiness you're seeing from your team versus like the effort and fight you're seeing a week in? Just the balance of that and like what you guys are trying to build right now at this point in the season.
Not at one point has our competitiveness dipped in all this. Preseason practice, what it looks like in September when you're in our building, That's what we need to build. That's what we need at our core. We say keep the big rocks to big rocks. That's a big one. That's the biggest. So when you have a group that is as competitive and as together, we're going to improve. And we keep our energy right, the character of these guys, we're going to improve. There's no doubt. Tomorrow is another day to improve. We'll take a look tomorrow to then be better the next game. So proud of the effort again. That's never wavered in this group.
Hey, Coach Ellie, I'll go by Sports 260 AZ. Colin, another solid night out of him. What dynamic does he add to this team off the pine, especially as you get healthy?
The ability to shoot off the dribble in today's game is a super skill that he has. Continue to get him to be aggressive. He is such a team-first player. He's won at every level. Such a winner that for him, sometimes it doesn't feel comfortable to shoot it without any passing. But if that's the best look we're going to get, then he needs to let it go. So, again, I think multiple games here in a row, he's played well. He's been aggressive. We want him to be aggressive, get into the paint. He's another guy that can get in the paint for us. You know, he's even had a couple where he's dribbled along the baseline, kept his dribble alive to find its teammate. Yeah, another good night. Finished the game with him. Not sure many people would have said that a year ago, and that's a credit to who he is and the work he's put in. And he's only going to continue to get better.
Hey, Jordan, it felt like the opening, first third of your offensive possessions felt like there was more pace or tempo that you all were playing with there. I was curious for you, what are you seeing from that third of the shot clock that's kind of trickulating into, I guess, better shot quality for you all?
Yeah, the possession, points per possession go down as the shot clock goes down. We need to try to get an early advantage as often as possible. We talk about first to action. That's why you see a lot of pick and rolls. We're trying to get an advantage as early in the clock as possible. Then if we don't get the advantage, we'll have more opportunities to get it as the shot clock progresses. Statistically, we're there. We're there in the top 5 of getting shots early in the clock. But we can't turn it over as a result of playing too fast. And that's the balance. That's the balance we're going to have to figure out. We're going to have to take a look. Is there a space to go? If there's not a space to go, then we will take it later in the clock so we hold on the ball. Any shot is better than a turnover. So it's something that we have stressed to play early. Obviously, Memphis did last year and this year too. But we want to try to get that first domino early. We just got to take care of the basketball. All right. Thank you.